The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Green.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Green is alongside, and it's time for the 7-round mock draft. Post Senior Bowl, after looking at all of the strides the guys made in the Senior Bowl, where do we think they land? Buffalo Bills up first, picking 25th overall. And Jeremy, you've got him taken 6'3", 240-pound linebacker out of LSU. It's Damon Clark.
This is a kid that I was not as sold on until I really deep dove on the tape. He is a tackling machine. This is, if you look at what they struggle with Kansas City, he's not great in coverage, but he's passable. So this is a 3-down linebacker. Had a great week at the Senior Bowl. Stock is through the roof. I did not have him as a first-round pick, but after basically just the small part of the pre-draft process that's already happened, I see him being a back end of the first-round guy. He's a good athlete. This is the linebacker that they thought they were getting when they drafted Tremaine Edmonds. The one thing I will say, his eyes deceive him sometimes. He gets a little duped by things in the backfield. But being in that defense with Buffalo, with the level of pass rush that they have, I think he would be a tremendous fit.
In the second round, you've got to beefing up the offensive line. 6'3", 317, Ed Ingram. He's guard at LSU.
Yeah, this is a kid that I think fits in nicely between Mitch Morse and Deion Dawkins. Obviously, you saw at the end of the year that Buffalo had, with Devin Singletary, more of an emphasis on running, and Ed Ingram is somebody that can certainly help with that. He's a good run blocker. He's a fantastic pass blocker. I have been on him much earlier than other people were. He and Chasen Hines, both guards out of LSU, I think they're both second-round picks. Some people don't agree with me on that, but I like both almost equivalently. He's not as necessarily big as you would like him to be. I mean, he's 6'3", 315, but it doesn't have all of the measurables, but you watch the tape on him, and he's just a bully. He fits perfect in this Buffalo scheme.
In the third round, 89th pick overall, you got him staying in the SEC with Zachary Taylor, the defensive tackle.
This is a little bit more of a long-term play. Zach Carter is really raw, but he has natural pass rush instincts. This is a kid that I look at in the Buffalo defense next to Ed Oliver, in between Rousseau, Hughes, Epinesa, the litany of guys that they have used. This would make for a terrifying pass rush 2 years from now. They're already set on the D-line. The thing about Buffalo is that they just don't have a ton of needs. I mean, this is a really good team that has drafted really, really well. And to me, there is probably no better way they could come away from the first 3 rounds of this draft than a pass rushing inside, a linebacker that's 3-down, no doubt linebacker, and then Ed Ingram to put in the middle of that line.
Zachary Carter, 8 sacks this past season for the Florida Gators. In the fourth round, you got the Buffalo Bills getting a running back and staying in the SEC once again. It's Brian Robinson Jr. from Alabama.
It's a complimentary back that they thought they were getting in Zach Moss. I think there is a lot of tread left on the tires with Brian Robinson. He's a fantastic between the guards runner. This is kind of a parrot with Ed Ingram. Give you the guy that can go get 2 or 3 yards. Maybe save some of the wear on Josh Allen. I think they're going to draft a running back at some point. Devin Singletary made it less of a priority. One very common theme of running backs in mock drafts for me is that they fall. I think I had 2 running backs in the second round, 2 more in the third, and the vast majority fell into day 3. Not because they're not good, because there's so damn many of them that it's very dependent on what you're looking for. A lot of different grades on Brian Robinson. I think he can be what they thought they were getting in Zach Moss, who's just been inconsistent and hurt and not been the bruiser that they need, but I think Brian Robinson can be that.
Well, and with another injury, I believe that Brian Robinson could be a 3-down guy at the next level.
He can, but I don't think that's his best path to a real sustained role in the NFL. The thing that Brian Robinson does well is run between the tackles. To me, he's a very good pass blocker, so he can be deceptive. The only thing is that he doesn't have great hands. And most of the routes that you saw him run were screens or Texas routes or very rudimentary things. So not going to give you a ton in that respect, but that's Devin Singletary does that.
At 167 overall in the 5th round, you got the Buffalo Bills taking Charleston Rambo, wide receiver from Miami. Of course, he transferred over from Oklahoma. Guy's been around for a while.
The beauty of being a team like Buffalo is that you can take some chances. Charleston Rambo's a kid that shouldn't really still be here in the 5th round. Is a receiver necessarily a need for them? No. But if they decided to move on from Cole Beasley, this is a kid that can play in the slot. I think he projects better as an outside receiver. Good enough deep threat, really good in the intermediate. Could work on the hands, not much of a blocker. But, you got Stephon Diggs and a slew of other guys. So it's kind of a luxury pick.
In the 6th round, they got 2 picks in the 6th round to the Buffalo Bills. And at 183 overall, you got them taking Tyreek Smith, 6'3", 245 edge rusher at Ohio State.
Picks like this are why teams like the Bills that draft really well, and then you can just kind of sustain over time. It's picks like this that are the reason that you can do that. Tyreek Smith is a project player. He is a very good pass rusher right now. Unfortunately, it's all he can do. He cannot do anything else. He is terrible against the run, doesn't hold up well, needs to add some bulk on the frame. This is a situational pass rusher, just somebody else that can go into the rotation, replacement for Addison, replacement for Jerry Hughes, whatever the case may be down the line. Not something you have to do right now, just a guy that can come in, learn the system. You really expect him to contribute 2 years down the line as opposed to right now.
Adding a tackle as well in the 6th round, 201 overall, Andrew Stuber out of Michigan.
This kid's a house, and he very much looks like a house. He kind of looks like me, to be really honest with you. Great big corn-fed Connecticut kid. It does not look like a Connecticut kid. Looks like he should have been born in, I don't know, Alabama or Arkansas, and he plays that way. I have a little bit different read on him. A lot of people think he's a guard. I think he is a project right or possibly even left tackle. You're going to be really patient with him if you think he's going to play left tackle. Not going to blow you away with any of the athleticism things. He's not the dancing elephant. He's a fucking bear. And that's looking down the line for what Buffalo could be after. They have a slew of tackles now. Spencer Brown is obviously a house on the right side. I always projected him to be on the left side eventually. They've got Deion Dawkins under contract for an extended period of time. This is a developmental tackle that I think can develop in time into a very high-end right tackle with a focus on being a really good pass blocker.
The Bills
swing tackle in the offing.
The Bills also have 2 picks in the 7th round at 228 overall. You got them taking Sterling Weatherford, safety out of Miami of Ohio.
If the NFL Draft Combine was the Olympics, he would be a medalist. Unfortunately, he doesn't do anything overly well. This kid's going to be taught. So you put him in the secondary where you already have Jordan Poyer, you already have Micah Hyde. You don't need this kid to be a contributor right away. But if you can teach him the intricacies of playing football, he's so damn athletic. He's 6'3", and built like a brick shithouse. He looks like an Olympic sprinter. If you can teach him to play the game within the confines of your defense and be patient with him, he can, in time, be a contributor.
All right, and lastly, at 243 overall, tell us about Jalen Watson, the cornerback out of Washington State.
He projects like Levi Wallace, a kid that's a free agent for Buffalo, long, has a very good speed for a corner. The size is what's really intoxicating with him. The problem is he can't tackle. And when I say he can't tackle, I mean he can't tackle at all.
Oh, wow.
Coverage skills they're pretty good. Gets a little handsy. Technique gets a little lacking sometimes. The big problem is that he does everything right for 90% of the play. But when the receiver actually catches the ball on him, a lot of times he just absolutely whiffs on the tackle. A lot of raw talent, a kid that you'd have to be patient with, know what you're getting, but I think in time can be a productive player in the NFL. Some people project him as a safety. I don't. He's just not a good enough tackler, and I don't think he's ever going to be. But he can be an outside corner. Just know that you're going to have to develop him over time.
All right, 7-round mock draft for the Buffalo Bills. Starting it off with Damon Clark. It's pretty strong. They addressed a lot of needs. We'll see if that's enough to get them over the hump in the AFC. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Green. Don't forget to check us out at thesportsocracy.com.